Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Tonight we're pulling back the velvet curtain on the most shocking twist yet inside Beyond the Gates 2025. Eva's calm facade has finally cracked, and the glamorous world of Fairmont Crest is trembling beneath her fury. What started as quiet rivalry with Kat has turned into an emotional war laced with betrayal, secret recordings, and whispered deals behind locked doors. Leslie's cold strategy, Danny's hidden camera, and Haley's opportunistic silence have built a powder keg ready to explode. As rumors swirl about missing documents, forged contracts, and an alliance that was never meant to last, one truth becomes unavoidable: Eva's fall isn't just personal, it's engineered. Stay tuned as we uncover the events that drove her to the edge, the silent hands pulling every string, and the dark endgame that may consume everyone before the storm finally settles. The downfall began long before anyone at Fairmont Crest noticed. Eva once believed she could outmaneuver deceit with elegance, that she could preserve grace while living among sharks. But that illusion shattered the day Kat entered her orbit, radiant, magnetic, dangerous in ways Eva could not define until it was far too late. Their rivalry had started as a slow burn, masked by compliments and curated smiles at Dupree family events. Yet beneath every toast and photograph, Kat was mapping Eva's weaknesses with surgical precision. She studied her, mirrored her, then began replacing her piece by piece: her alliances, her influence, even her narrative. It was Leslie who first warned Eva that charm could be a form of warfare, but Eva dismissed it, thinking Leslie's cynicism came from too many boardroom battles. She was wrong. Kat's ambition was not personal, it was predatory. By the time Eva realized it, her reputation had already been rewritten, her authority questioned, and her voice reduced to background noise in the family's political orchestra. The past came roaring back when the charity gala arrived, a night meant to showcase unity but designed, in truth, as a stage for Kat's silent victory. Eva entered draped in silver, unaware that Kat had already fed the tabloids a story portraying her as unstable and power-hungry. The cameras captured the smiles, the laughter, but not the tremor in Eva's hand when she saw Tomas at Kat's side, the man she once trusted, now orbiting her rival like a satellite caught in gravity. When the rumor leaked that Eva had embezzled funds from an earlier project, it wasn't random coincidence, it was Kat's precision strike. Yet Kat underestimated the one thing Eva had left: endurance. In the shadows, Leslie saw the collapse as opportunity. She had her own reasons for wanting Kat cornered: debts unpaid, promises broken, control slipping. Leslie approached Eva under the pretense of sympathy, but behind that veneer was calculation. She needed Eva's outrage, the raw emotion that could ignite a larger plan. Together they began piecing fragments of Kat's secrets: the doctored financial records, the falsified contract approvals, the missing document that would soon resurface as a weapon. Still, Eva's revenge was no longer about justice. It became something darker: the desire to see Kat stripped of everything she loved, even Tomas, even her place at the table. But vengeance has its own hunger. As Eva and Leslie plotted, new threads tangled the board. Haley, still reeling from betrayal, saw Kat's potential downfall as leverage. Danny, always lurking near chaos, began filming private moments, hinting she might sell them to the highest bidder. Tomas, sensing the storm, pulled back, but not before rumors tied him to Kat's manipulation. Bill's silence bought him temporary safety, while Nicole's ambition fed her downfall. She believed aligning with Kat would secure her power, unaware she was stepping into a collapsing house of mirrors. And through it all, whispers spread that Kat had a new ally, someone outside the Dupree circle, someone who promised to protect her in exchange for control of a hidden investment fund. The more Eva clawed her way back, the more she became what she despised. Sleep slipped through her like sand, and the elegant composure that once defined her fractured into bursts of paranoia. She no longer trusted Leslie, even while depending on her. Every plan they made felt like a trap waiting to spring. Every ally could turn informer. And in the dead of night, Eva began to wonder if revenge itself was another one of Kat's illusions, a maze built so she would lose herself inside it. Then came the anonymous message, a single file containing proof of Kat's betrayal but also a confession implicating Eva in a past cover-up she thought was buried forever. Someone had been watching both of them, recording, waiting. When Eva opened the file, the final line wasn't about Kat, it was about her. "Every queen falls," it read, "but not every queen knows who pushed her." The next morning, Fairmont Crest glittered as always, but the rot beneath the marble began to seep through. Eva stood at the balcony of her suite, the city's light spilling over her reflection, unable to decide whether the woman staring back was a victim or a villain. She had handed Leslie everything, the recordings, the access codes, even her personal correspondence, trusting that their alliance would bring Kat down. What she didn't realize was that Leslie had already set the trap to destroy them both. Leslie had leaked the existence of the missing document to the press, framing it as Eva's attempt to blackmail Kat. By evening, social feeds exploded. Eva Dupree, the woman of grace and diplomacy, accused of orchestrating a smear campaign. Sponsors withdrew, investors froze accounts, and Tomas disappeared from public sight, leaving only a brief statement through an assistant denying any involvement. For Eva, the humiliation was surgical. Every lie Kat had ever told now seemed mild compared to Leslie's betrayal. The gala that followed was not a celebration but a reckoning. Eva arrived knowing she was the target, but pride drove her forward. Cameras flashed like gunfire as Leslie gave her speech, her words dripping with concern but carrying a coded message meant to isolate Eva completely. Kat, radiant and calm, watched from a distance, aware that even if she lost the battle of evidence, Eva had already lost her mind. The wineglass trembled in Eva's hand as whispers filled the air, not about Kat's deceit, but about Eva's supposed breakdown. Back home, the mansion felt foreign. The portraits of the Dupree founders seemed to glare down with judgment. Eva searched for proof, for some remnant of control, but every document had been copied, every secret weapon neutralized. Leslie had burned the bridge, Haley had vanished, Danny had sold her footage, and Kat, the original enemy, had turned public sympathy into armor. The headlines called her the survivor, while Eva was rebranded as the manipulator. Desperation carved through Eva's logic. She called Tomas, no answer. She sent Leslie a message, bounced back undelivered. Even her security detail was reassigned without notice. The silence was louder than any accusation. She poured herself another drink, staring at the empty halls where her legacy had lived. Once she had wanted justice, now she just wanted the noise to stop. Outside, thunder rolled over Fairmont Crest. The same storm that had once symbolized renewal now felt like a requiem. Eva's plan to reclaim her power had inverted, leaving her stripped, isolated, and unrecognizable even to herself. And somewhere across town, Leslie met with an unknown figure, the very person who had sent that anonymous file. They spoke quietly over candlelight, exchanging a flash drive, sealing Eva's fate. By morning, Eva's name would be trending again. Not for triumph, but tragedy. Reports would say she had left a note, but no one would ever find it. Kat would stand by the window, tears staged for the cameras, while Leslie would attend the memorial, expression unreadable. The Dupree estate would issue a statement about privacy and grief, but behind closed doors, plans for redistribution of assets would already be underway. The empire would move on, pretending equilibrium had returned. Yet beneath the luxury, a single truth would linger like smoke: everyone at Fairmont Crest was both predator and prey, and the cycle never truly ends. Leslie's hands were clean again, Kat's throne restored, and the woman who dared to challenge them reduced to a cautionary tale whispered at luncheons, proof that at Fairmont Crest, even the brightest light can be snuffed out by its own reflection. And that's where the story teeters between illusion and collapse. Eva's downfall may seem final, but Fairmont Crest has never been a place that lets ghosts rest quietly. The mansion still hums with unfinished business, whispers moving through corridors, shadows behind glass doors, and a network of secrets too deep to bury. Kat's victory feels hollow, her reflection haunted by the cost of her survival. Leslie stands calm at the top once again, but the blood she's spilled to stay there stains every handshake, every smile. Somewhere, Danny's recordings are still out there, floating between buyers who know that one upload could change everything. Haley has vanished into silence, but her absence feels strategic, not tragic, and many wonder what she's building in the dark while the others tear each other apart. Even the estate itself seems to mourn, its golden chandeliers flickering as though echoing Eva's last desperate thoughts. Every character who once played a role in her destruction now finds themselves trapped inside the same moral labyrinth she once navigated. The press will spin their stories, the family will issue statements, but none of it will cleanse the truth that Fairmont Crest devours everyone who believes they can master it. So what happens next? Will Leslie's iron composure crack when her new alliance turns on her? Will Kat discover that her so-called redemption has been scripted by the same forces that ruined Eva? Will Danny release the footage and expose the rot from within? Or is there another player waiting in the shadows, ready to inherit the chaos Eva left behind? Nothing ends cleanly in Beyond the Gates 2025. Every triumph hides a trap, every smile conceals a scar. As we move into the next chapter, remember this: power at Fairmont Crest doesn't belong to the clever or the ruthless, it belongs to the last one still standing when the lights go out. And tonight, those lights are already starting to flicker.